Saber-X Studios presents.
What's up, bro?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining the podcast. I have my good friend Armada Winks here with me. And I have you on the podcast today, Winks, because I really want to talk about your incremental success throughout Twitch, getting this new sponsorship with Armada and, just everything about it. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you really got into streaming. I just want to know it all.
All right, I'm gonna give you the basics. So a little bit about me: full-time streamer, sponsored skateboarder. Been, I guess, playing competitive games for like 10 years if you count like Halo, Call of Duty, Smash, of course. And then I've been skateboarding, probably close to like 15 years. But other than that, streaming. I started streaming because of Nairo. Nairo's
Okay.
definitely the inspiration. Especially coming from Smash 4, I played Zero Suit in that game too, so always watched Nairo and always looked up to him. He was definitely, I like a lot of streamers, but that's like the one streamer I would say is like the reason I started streaming.
Yeah, he's always been a favorite top player of mine, too.
Yeah.
I've been so enthralled about how he can be a top player and also an entertainer at the same time. That's really what it takes to sort of stream.
Exactly.
And I think it's interesting that you're trying to like follow in his footsteps, sort of.
Yeah.
So like, how does one even start to go about becoming a full-time streamer?
Well, becoming a full-time streamer is not really an option for everybody just because funds and stuff like that. I was very fortunate because I do, reselling on eBay. I sell stuff on Facebook, whether it be games, clothes, things that come out on the internet and people want it really bad. So I really just in a fortunate situation where I could put more time to that. So not a lot of people can do that unless you have the resources, to do that.
What was the situation for you? Like, what was the moment where you're like, I want to do this full time?
It was back in Smash 4 when I was competing and I was like number one at one point. And
In Middle Tennessee, let's go.
yeah, exactly. I was number one in Middle Tennessee. I was number 2 in the state. And it was something I just always wanted to do. I was just a Twitch viewer. I would watch Nairo, watch whoever's streaming. And I don't know if you remember, but I had bought a laptop. I bought all the equipment, and then I got robbed when I was in Memphis.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, okay. So it happened in Memphis, and
No.
I bought all the equipment, and I only had it with me because I was gonna record some gameplay while at the tournament. This was at Outer Realms. This is so long ago, and just unfortunate. I think I let somebody go to my car and left the door unlocked, and when I went back to my car, my laptop was stolen, my Wii U, my monitor, everything. So that was a few years. That was probably about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then obviously I couldn't stream. I didn't have money to buy. I just bought the laptop for Black Friday for like $1,000.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So
How'd you recover from that?
I just kept doing the same thing. I wasn't able to stream. I didn't stream until a year later. But definitely maybe not want to stream for a little bit because I spent so much money, but it just set me back. Just set me back a little bit, but I was still able to make the funds happen, and I was able to get the money together to stream still.
Well, I'm glad you have, man. You sort of grown this
Yeah.
little cult following on your Twitch channel. You got almost 7,000 followers right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're starting to do streams where you get like average 75 viewers for the whole time. It's really awesome. And you're starting to get the success. And we've seen that now that Armada decided to sponsor you.
Yeah.
A more notable esports organization. You've been sponsored before, but how exactly how'd you come into this Armada sponsorship?
They actually came to me, to be honest. I know a couple people on the team, so I'm sure word of mouth. Maybe some people wanted me on the team. And originally somebody from the team wanted me to send an application. And me being me, I really don't like going after people. If a team wants me, they're gonna come to me and come get me. So I kind of ignored it at first, but eventually they hit me up like a couple months later, and they're like, we want you on the team. They gave me an offer and all that. So kind of gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. So,
Can you go into details about what the offer was?
I can't go into too much detail, but I can at least say that they're taking care of me stream-wise, like any kind of equipment, keyboards, headphones, mice, anything like that, even, memory, something to build a PC, all that good stuff.
So how's that different from your other sponsorships?
The other sponsorship was more so like They were just helping me get my name out there
Mm-hmm.
instead of free gear and stuff like that. And while they did pay me, it wasn't like a whole lot.
Yeah. So is there? I mean, obviously, those are. Would you say those are necessary stepping stones to get where you are now?
No, I think streaming's complicated. Obviously, not
Yeah.
everybody can do it. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
And everyone does it a little bit differently too.
Exactly, and it just depends on what you want to do. If you're trying to be a Smash streamer, unfortunately, sponsorship definitely helps, but general Smash community cares about top players, and that's
Yeah.
just what it comes down to. You can be I give you an example like Lima. Lima's somebody that doesn't stream regularly. They started streaming maybe like within the last month, and their numbers are already destroying mine. I've been there full time Monday through Friday for 2 years plus now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just the fact that general Smash community, they care about top players. So it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to be a Smash streamer, it's very hard. If you're not notable or ranked or PGR, a lot of people are not going to care to watch you.
Yeah, and that makes a little bit of sense too. It's really hard to
Yeah.
break into that threshold of successful Smash streamers.
Right.
Most of them are just top players. Zero was a big one.
Yeah.
And he was a top player, and then he switched to full-time streaming. That was kind of the end goal for him, really. You've sort of, while you've been a top player in Middle Tennessee, you haven't necessarily done that well in the national circuit
Exactly.
as well as performance. So it's interesting to see how you've started to succeed, even though you haven't necessarily been a top player.
Yeah.
And you keep growing. I love to tune into your streams a bunch. You see me in there sometimes.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing to stream? I know you mainly do Smash, but I see you do Pokemon every now and then, and you're starting to do Animal Crossing now.
Right. Favorite game? I like retro stuff.
Okay.
Honestly, I like a lot of games. I like RPGs. I like first person shooters. But retro games is probably where I feel the most comfortable. It's fun. Smash is fun, but it's definitely stressful playing on Wi-Fi.
Yes, Wi-Fi triggers me way too much, man.
It's so bad. It's so bad. So when I'm playing retro games, it's definitely a chill time. Like playing like a Game Boy Advance game or
Oh my
Super
gosh.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Like when you think of prime Game Boy Advance games that you
Mega
always want to
Man.
go back. Yes.
Battle Network.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'm
Yeah,
glad
for
someone
sure.
else is here. Battle Network
Definitely.
was my childhood, dude.
So I actually streamed. I think it was. I can't remember. I want to say it was the 5th one I streamed, and
Mm-hmm.
it was super fun.
Team Proto Man or Team Colonel?
Pretty sure it's Proto Man that
Oh,
we did.
let's go.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. That's my favorite game ever. I remember there was a tweet going around. It was like, show your top 4 favorite games besides Smash. And
Right.
it was like, I had like Mega Man Battle Network 5, man. It was in there.
Right.
It's
yeah,
such a good game.
Definitely.
And gosh, I'm just so happy that I found someone else.
Yeah. Right. That's a game not a lot of people have played. I
Yeah.
mean, people know Mega Man, but they don't know Battle Network. It's very like niche.
Yeah, it is. And I wanted so bad for Mega Man EXE to be in Smash and
Oh,
not
that'd
the
be
original
sick.
Mega Man. So like when they announced Mega Man, I was super excited, and
Right.
and seeing the final Smash, I was like, at least he's in there a little bit. But I really wanted like the EXE version of Mega Man.
Right. That'd be sick. And then
Mhm.
he could just have like attachments and this and that. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I love Mega Man. I tried him too when I saw Mega Man was gonna be in Smash, and it was not a good time. I was like, this ain't my character.
Yeah, no. When the demo came out on the 3DS,
Right.
and you couldn't change your controls, they like had the shield and the grab switched for me for how I
Right.
liked it. So, but I lived. Anyways, going into that, I spent like literally 2 months only playing Mega Man, like trying to get good with this character. I was like, this character just doesn't gel with me.
Right.
He's way too patient, and that still sort of is right. Like when I see Mega Man players, I get hype. Like when I see Mars go Mega Man.
Right. Or Yeti.
Or Yeti, yeah, when they do their crazy shenanigans, or Atlas, shout outs to Atlas.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
That boy.
when I see him go Mega Man, I'm like, yo, let's go. This character's
Right.
about to be super hype, but playing against him, I don't feel that way.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
It feels like a mini boss.
Mhm.
He just walls you out so hard.
So you mainly stream Smash Brothers,
Yeah.
and you do that every Monday through Friday. You
Yep.
know, what's the time again?
Approximately 10 to 2 Central Time. I start a little bit earlier just because I usually have time to, but that's like my set schedule is 10 to 2 Central.
And it's been working out, man. You've been
Yeah.
starting to get more people coming in. They're doing all their stuff, and you're now part of their routine, which has to feel good somewhat, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I got a lot of people that come through just about every day, so it's amazing feeling.
Now back to your Armada sponsorship. I want to really delve a bit more into that. I know you can't give me too many details, but like, are there specific requirements you need to keep for like to keep that sponsorship?
So to get on a team, you have to have requirements, like I said on the application. But I kind of bypassed that because they reached out to me. So they don't really have any requirements of me specifically. I think I kind of like got to skip that part since I
Okay.
didn't apply. So they just want me to do what I've been doing.
Okay.
You know, so
That's really cool. So
Exactly.
they sort of picked you up as a personality and not necessarily a player.
yeah, exactly.
Like they've got You're Too Slow and Spencer and a couple other players that you might have heard of, but they don't really have. I think they also had Myron. Is he still on the team?
He just got let go, I think,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay, and so they're starting to pick up more sort of personalities rather than players, which is really
Right.
kind of cool because that's what you're striving to be right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you ever going to get back to sort of that competitive scene?
I want to, but I don't know. Like you mentioned earlier, when I was competing a lot in Smash 4, I got to the point where I was, number one. I got to number 2 in the state. But that feeling of never being good enough at nationals, that's always been something that's bugged me. So that's kind of what has made me not compete as much because I already got to the point where I was one of the best, or if not the best.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't matter when you go to a national because you got to play good there. So that kind of like drove me away from like competing as much. And that's why you still see me like I'll attend a national if I can, like if something's nearby or in Atlanta. But I definitely want to compete more. It's just I'm more focused on the stream right now.
Yeah, and that makes sense too. You're
Yeah.
trying to build that relationship with Armada, trying to do stuff.
Exactly.
But I've heard noise that you might starting to go to weeklies in the future.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that more after the break.
All right, bet.
I appreciate you all choosing to juice it up. Still kicking myself about accidentally deleting the footage there, but you live and you learn. And I still got a whole nother half of a podcast with Winks coming up, and don't worry, the footage is fine this time. Welcome back to Juice It Up. Last time we checked in, we were talking about how you are starting to go and compete more locally in tournaments, which is something that I'm excited about because I haven't seen you at a local tournament forever.
Right.
So, which ones were you planning on going to?
I plan on going to the ESA tournament that we just got announced recently.
Yeah,
Well, it's been
man.
around for a little bit.
Yeah, it's been around. Been struggling a bit, but I really think that this new Series E League that we announced earlier, and if you don't know what that is, go ahead and check out my last podcast episode. It's really going to pull a lot of the big players
Right.
to come around. It's going to be great practice for anyone that comes and goes to those weeklies. So I think it's really just going to be, not only a good time, but really good practice.
Yeah, that's it's definitely been on my radar, especially with the sponsorship announced. And
Oh, you trying to get it?
not necessarily. I would love the sponsorship, but I already missed out the first week of a 8-week trial, I guess. So I'm already not doing too well, but I really just want the practice. I want to play against more PR players. And, when you go to certain locals, sometimes, like you've said before, you get maybe 1 or 2 PR players, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, event going on, there's a higher chance of, 5, 6, 7 PR players. So definitely trying to get that, just that good quality practice that you can't really find that often.
Mm-hmm. I think even though you're behind a week, it's still really possible to get that sponsorship.
Right.
The point system was updated from before. It used to be like first place got 10 points, second place got 6, third got 5, and so on and so forth. And now they changed it to make tournaments with more entrants count more.
Right.
So now it's first place gets 25 points, second place gets 18, third place gets 15. So it's a bigger difference right there. And then if there's more than 50 entrants, which probably won't happen in Middle Tennessee, but if like
Right.
people from other regions start coming out, like Memphis or East Tennessee starts coming out to these, then excuse me, those numbers will increase.
Right.
So it's going to make it more worth it for more people to start coming out, and so maybe that'll even bring even more better people from in and around Tennessee and give you some good practice, man.
Yeah, it's definitely what I'm looking forward to. I'm going to try to make it this Thursday. The only thing I hate about it is it's at 7 o'clock. Is it 7:30 or 7?
It's 7.
It's 7. So it's a really tight schedule because I think on Thursdays I get home after picking up the girlfriend at like 6.
Mhm.
So I'm going to make it there right at 7, or if not at 7, a little bit after.
Well,
So,
definitely hit me up, man. I'm running those things. I can't enter,
all right.
unfortunately, but but I'll be running them. So just be like, hey, Brian, I might be a bit late. And I'll be like, all right, man, for sure, I'll put you
Right.
in. You're good.
I'm just bummed that I just don't like entering and not being warmed up.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
understand
gonna
that.
try to do what I can to make it work though.
All right. Well, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm really excited to see you start going out to more local events. And what didn't you say you were going to be going out to some more regional ones too?
Yeah, whenever there's anything big nearby, if I can make it, I'll definitely go.
Yeah, let's
So
go.
normally, if Alabama has something big, I'll try to go. If Georgia, Atlanta has something big, I'll try to go. So definitely on my radar.
Final round's coming up. I'm going to that. Are you?
Yeah, I'll be going to final round, and I should be going to MomoCon. And I was trying to go to Frostbite, but I kind of missed the cap just
Yeah,
shortly.
yeah.
So
It's actually really cheap, apparently.
yeah, I
I
know.
was talking with Dr. Copter. He said that it was only like $150 for a round trip
That's so
to
good.
fly, which is so because no one wants to fly to Detroit.
Yeah,
no,
right.
no one wants to go there, so it's really cheap to get there. And it's really unfortunate that we missed out on that deadline.
Yeah,
Sign
maybe
up.
next time.
Maybe next time. We'll see. It all depends on how our jobs are going or, or
Right.
whatever. But yeah, I'm really excited to see you start going out to these because back in Smash 4, when I saw you more regularly, I loved watching you play.
Right.
And so getting to see you come out now as well and play against these new people, really interesting to see. I'm, you know, I'm also curious because not only do you play Smash, you also skateboard a
Right.
lot, and you're going to start doing that more as well as this winter starts to wear off, right? Because you're getting to those warm seasons, and you're going to start
Yeah.
skating more, and you're a sponsored skater. So I'm just curious, like how exactly that works, because I don't know anything about skating.
Right. So sponsored skateboarding is a lot different from esports. Um, Obviously, it's physical activity. So you have different skaters. Certain skaters, they'll skate contests, and that's their main thing, and that's how they represent their sponsor. You have skaters like myself. I mostly focus on video parts and filming and going out into the streets.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
Yeah. And then, you have some, there's always those one people that they just make funny videos. They might not even be a great skater, but, they're just super entertaining, and they just happen to skateboard too and make videos. So it just depends what kind of sponsorship you're trying to get. Mine's a local skate shop in Clarksville.
Yeah,
Called
okay.
Cloud 27 Skate Shop. And they pretty much hook me up with other companies so I can get free gear.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about like sort of mixing that into your current like Twitch, Smash Brothers crowd?
I've been asked a lot if I'm a stream skating, and I've tried I think twice, and it just didn't really work out too well because I just tried using my phone. Like, I don't have a fancy rig or anything.
Yeah, I think you need the right rig for it, but I think
Yeah.
it'd be a really cool idea, and then you could get like your skate sponsor in there, be like, because people who love you, you got lots of followers who just love your personality and love you in general, so they're gonna be excited to see you do whatever,
Right.
especially skating, because it's so cool. I've seen those videos where you're just like moving around, and it's kind
Yeah.
of ethereal to see it that way.
Yeah.
And so people are gonna be like, "Wow, how can I get into this?" And you can be like, "Well, there's this local skate shop in Clarksville. You can get some neat parts from." And
Right.
it's really interesting to see that. How exactly is that different from necessarily like a Smash sponsor?
It's a lot more. I guess I'd say it's a lot more just lenient. It's very grassroots. Most of the time, when you're sponsored in skating, you probably know the person pretty well, or you've known them for a while, or you don't know them at all. It could be like that too, and they just hook you up. So it's a lot more go at your pace. I don't have to like worry about creating content or doing this and that. I could kind of just do my own thing.
That's really cool. And maybe in the future we'll see that those two revenue
Yeah, that'd
sources
be
sort of
super
collide.
cool.
That would be really cool.
I
I'd tune
would,
in.
if I had the funds, definitely, I would.
Hey, new sub goal.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of sub goals, I know you recently dyed your hair for
Yeah.
a sub goal. How was that going?
Pretty crazy. I'm not big on sub goals. Sub goals is usually something I try to stay away from,
Yeah.
but we've been kind of pushing it a little bit more lately, just trying to get a little bit more funds in the Wings Club. So the purple hair was for 300 subs, and it was definitely the craziest thing I've probably done.
Dude, yeah,
for
congratulations
anything.
on that.
But I love it. It came out sick. I'm pretty happy with it. So
It's really cool that you decided to go about it that way. Really tells a lot about your character because I've been talking not that anyone who asks for sub goals has a bad character, but you're not really just being like, hey, give me money. You're more like, you know what, this I'm just chilling right now. If you guys want to support me, support me. If you don't want to support me,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
cool too. And I really appreciate that mindset behind it. I was talking with Zaraf on the podcast a few weeks ago, and he's a smaller streamer than you. Doesn't have as many subs, but he talks about how he feels like he's whoring out for subs.
Right. He's trying to get them subs.
And he started to enjoy it a little bit. So
Right.
I know you sort of feel that way too, but you don't like that feeling.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't like handouts. Sometimes I understand, if you need help, you need to get help. But I've never liked asking for help, asking for handouts. I've always tried to be very independent. Same reason why I'm a full-time streamer. I just try to do things on my own without, worrying about somebody else.
Yeah. And that's kind of part of the reason you're a skateboarder too, right?
Yeah, independent. Yeah, very.
So how'd you get like a sponsorship? I know you said you knew the guy really well, and but
I've been sponsored for skateboarding for a long time.
oh really?
Yeah, so I started skating. I'm 26 now. I started skateboarding probably when I was like 12, 13, and by the time I was like 15 or 16, I was already sponsored.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, I was just kind of naturally good. I picked up on it really fast, so.
That's awesome. I had no idea that you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, it's been
more than 10 years.
Yeah, it's definitely my first love for sure.
Would you say you love it more than Smash Brothers?
More than likely.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Well, to be fair, you play Wi-Fi more than you don't.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So
there's only one way that can really go.
exactly.
Eventually getting triggered super hard. Do you get triggered a lot on Wi-Fi?
Normally I don't. I'm pretty chill about it. I will complain. I will bitch about playing very spammy people, or because if you go on Elite Smash,
The Wi-Fi
you'll
Samus.
play some good people, but you also play people that are just spamming and they don't know anything else. So I will make it known if I don't like somebody's play style, but I kind of try to keep it chill. But certain days will be, they'll affect me a little bit more, especially if I play like Banjo into Duck Hunt into
Hero.
into Mega Man all on Wi-Fi. I'll get tilted for sure.
Yo, Mega Man. We were talking about Mega Man. I love playing as Mega Man, and I love Mega Man games, but playing against him is cancer, dude. I can't even do it.
It's not a good time.
No, man. But I really like your mindset behind a lot of stuff. You have probably one of the healthiest mentalities, I would say, in the middle of
try to
Tennessee.
be.
Yeah. I think that's important too when you're doing like streaming or
Right.
any sort of professional gaming. You got to have that mentality, otherwise you're just gonna crumble and fall apart.
Exactly. It's definitely the way you take things and handle things outside of Smash streaming. I mean, anything in life is gonna take an effect on you. So always better to try to be positive and try not to look at all the negatives and everything.
That's to do with like raging too. Like when I think of tournaments, I used to be super calm and collected, and like if I won, I never really popped off. If I lost, I was upset, but I was never really like. I always was like, yeah, good games, whatever. And
You weren't visible about it or
yeah,
anything, right?
not a whole lot until after the fact when I was obviously upset. I tried to like be respectful about it, but now more so, I feel so bad. I keep like I'm not like raging, but I'm just like
Yeah,
giving it,
right.
like I play like booty. Like
Hey, I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah.
So it can be frustrating.
Yeah, and so it's hard. I'm sort of now starting to understand ragers and like what they go
Right.
through. But like I still don't have like the oh my gosh, I was Bandit. Have you
Yeah, I
in
know
Middle
Bandit.
Tennessee? He's a Pikachu main, and if you don't know, I don't like playing against Pikachu.
I don't either. I played Zero Suit.
I have the PTSD from Smash 4 when I was a Falcon main.
Oh yeah.
But like it was a couple seasons ago in our PR, and I lost to him so many times over and over and over again. And I was just after I would playing him, I was just like, I just want to throw this controller in the trash can as hard as I can right now. Like it's kind of funny, but I think I've gotten better from that, but it's still a step down from where I started.
Right.
And it's interesting to see that progression. Have you ever had that sort of change of mentality, whether it's streaming or whether it's playing Smash Brothers or whether it's skating on where you just get more frustrated than usual?
That happened to me the last 2 days actually with Smash Online, but that's just because I had like other stuff happening in life, not really Smash
I understand
related.
that.
But I've always had a very, like you said, I've had a good mindset, and most of the time I just blame it on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time I know my opponent's good. I know everybody just saw that I lose to, but I can almost always blame it on myself because I usually don't feel confident in my play. I know when I'm playing good, and I know when I'm not. So I don't really get frustrated if I lose. I'll definitely, you know me. If I get knocked out in losers, I go home. Like, I'm not hanging out. I'm not playing friendlies. I don't want to be there. But that's just how I handle it.
It's funny because you're such a menace to play against in losers because you're one of the best players in Tennessee, but you always like get upset or whatever early on in the tournament.
I'm just inconsistent.
And then you make the run through losers to get
Right.
like, top 5 or whatever at whatever tournament you're at. And so it's really funny to hear that from you. You're like, yeah, if I like you sort of give yourself those 2 chances. And then the first chance you're like, yeah, it's not a huge deal. And the second chance like, I'm out. See you guys.
Exactly.
I can understand that though.
It's definitely I don't know, it's just frustrating because a lot of times I go to the events and I don't feel warmed up, I don't feel confident, or if I do feel warmed up and confident, I gotta wait an hour or hour and a half for my matches, and then at that point, you know me, I'm like, man, I want to go home. I don't want to be here. So
It's
I
funny.
could work on it.
One of the things I remember about you from a while ago is back in Smash 4 days, you always used to say like, yo, you owe me a friendly and a smoke. And I'm like, that should be like your Twitch. Like whenever someone follows you, it's like, yo,
Right.
you owe me a friendly and a smoke. And so that's always, whenever I think of you, that's always playing in my
Right.
head.
That's
always.
so funny.
And so I don't know. I just thought about it right now too.
Right.
So, I mean, definitely think about that. Is there anything else you want to share while you're here?
Nah, I don't really got too much other than check out my Twitch channel at
Yeah.
twitch.tv/winkyface. Every Monday through Friday, 10 to 2. And I've actually been on Twitch straight for like 40-something days. So even though I'm not supposed to be there on the weekend, you can catch me there probably.
What do you mean you're not supposed to be there? Like it's against the
it's
rules?
it's supposed to be my days off, but I'm a workaholic, so I just end up working anyways.
Yeah, man, keep the grind
Yeah.
going.
For sure, man.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you coming on, Winks.
Hey, appreciate it, man. It was a blast.
Yeah, thanks for juicing it up.
Hey, thank you.
Big thanks again to Winks for coming out on to Juice It Up. I had a blast with him. Make sure to follow him on Twitch, twitch.tv/winkyfaced, or hit him up on Twitter. That's @awinkyface. Yeah, he has a lot of names on there. I'll make sure to put links in the description down below so you can follow him on whatever platform you want to follow him on. But definitely do that because it is worth it. Thanks to you guys again for choosing to watch Juice It Up. If you liked anything specific or didn't like anything, let me know in the comments. Or, you could always just like and subscribe to my video. That helps out too. But I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you all next week.